It started on a quiet Tuesday evening. I was in the living room when Emma, my wife of 8 years, walked in holding a small envelope. Her hands were slightly trembling, and her eyes avoided mine. She handed me the envelope with a faint, uneasy smile. "It's a DNA test," she said softly, almost whispering. "Your son, he isn't yours." I froze for a moment, staring at the paper in her hands. My heart raced, a mix of shock, disbelief, and anger. Jacob, my 8-year-old boy, my pride, my son. Not mine? The words echoed in my mind. I wanted to scream, to confront her, to demand answers, but something inside me urged patience. I took a deep breath and looked at Emma. "Give me a moment," I said quietly. I didn't react with anger. I didn't shout. Instead, I calmly asked her to leave the room while I reviewed the test. The DNA report was detailed, precise, and damning. It seemed impossible, yet undeniable. Emma had been hiding a secret for years. A secret that now threatened to destroy everything I thought I knew about my family. I sat there, contemplating my next move. But I didn't need to rush. Over the years, I had learned that patience and observation could uncover truths far deeper than any superficial deception. And while Emma thought she had the upper hand, she didn't know I had already anticipated the possibility of her deceit. The following day, I called her into the living room again. This time, I wasn't holding a piece of paper, but a folder of documents, medical records, carefully gathered, pieces of evidence I had quietly obtained over the past months. I watched her face as I handed them over, calm, collected. "Surprise," I said softly. "These are yours. And they show something interesting." Her face paled as she flipped through the records. I didn't have to explain. The irony was clear. The woman who had tried to shake my world with a lie was herself hiding a truth she never expected me to uncover. Emma had believed she could manipulate the narrative, control the story, and twist reality to her advantage. She was wrong. Emma's hands trembled as she scanned the medical records. Her confident, manipulative facade began to crack, replaced by panic and disbelief. I stayed calm, letting her struggle with the revelation. She had believed that her secret would never be exposed, that her lie would give her control over me. But the tables had turned, and the weight of truth was now hers to bear. For years she had carefully constructed an image of loyalty and love, hiding small inconsistencies, subtle lies, and half-truths. I had seen glimpses, small hints that something was off, but I had trusted her. That trust, which she had tried to betray, was not broken by anger but by clarity, patience, and evidence. I watched as Emma's confident eyes darted across the documents. Each page, each result, was a reminder that deceit has consequences, and that arrogance blinds those who believe they are untouchable. The woman who had attempted to undermine me, to destabilize my life and my family, was now confronted with undeniable proof that she too had hidden truths. Her voice cracked. I didn't think you'd," she started, but I interrupted. "Didn't think I what, Emma? Find the truth? Expose your lies? You underestimated me. You assumed deception could outsmart observation and patience. You were wrong." Emma's gaze fell to the floor. She knew that her actions had consequences, and that the carefully constructed world she relied upon was crumbling. Friends, colleagues, even family, anyone she thought she could manipulate, would now see her in a new light. And I would not be the one to orchestrate her downfall. The truth itself was more than enough. Over the next few days, Emma tried to negotiate, to plead, to control the narrative. But nothing worked. Every explanation, every excuse, only emphasized the scope of her deceit. She realized that I was no longer a victim of her manipulation. I was a guardian of truth, ensuring that her actions would not go unchecked. By midweek, the tension in the house was unbearable. Emma avoided my gaze, her usual confidence replaced by fear and uncertainty. The child she tried to use as leverage remained innocent, a symbol of the life she had attempted to twist. But I knew the ultimate power was not in anger or revenge. It was in control, in calm observation, and in allowing the truth to speak for itself. The final confrontation came quietly, without shouting or spectacle. Emma sat across from me at the kitchen table, her hands folded nervously. I placed the medical records in front of her, along with a calm, measured expression. The power in the room had shifted entirely. She had tried to destabilize my world, but now she was powerless. "I gave you everything, Emma," I said softly, letting the weight of the words settle. Trust, love, a life built together. And you thought you could manipulate that. But every deception leaves traces. Every lie can be uncovered. She swallowed hard, unable to meet my eyes. The DNA test she had proudly wielded as a weapon now seemed small, insignificant, even foolish. Her attempt to control the narrative had backfired spectacularly. She had tried to create chaos, to cast doubt and fear. But the truth, meticulously revealed, left her exposed and alone. In the days that followed, Emma's life slowly unraveled. Friends who had once supported her began questioning her integrity. Colleagues who had admired her ambition noticed inconsistencies and lies. The facade she had maintained for years began to crumble. Every attempt to regain control only highlighted her mistakes, her arrogance, and her inability to foresee the consequences of her actions. Through it all, I remained composed, a quiet observer of the inevitable fallout. Revenge wasn't about drama or vindictiveness. It was about clarity, fairness, and ensuring that deception could not succeed. Emma's miscalculations had sealed her fate, and justice, in its quiet and precise form, had been served. Looking back, I realize the lesson is simple. Betrayal may seem invisible, manipulation may seem clever, but truth has a way of surfacing. The woman who tried to destroy the foundation of my life had underestimated one thing: my patience, my observation, and my commitment to truth. And in doing so, she lost everything she had counted on: power, control, and trust. Emma's story stands as a stark reminder. Deceit always carries a cost, and arrogance always blinds those who believe themselves untouchable. The DNA test was supposed to shake me, to create chaos, but it only revealed the depth of her own secrets. And in the end, the one who thought they held all the cards was left with nothing. While I moved forward, free from manipulation, betrayal, and lies.